Oh, it's a lovely day in the galaxy, a wonderful spinning galaxy full of planets for you and me. Hello, my name is Springfield Johnny, and this is the Authentic Being Show. Now, you've heard me call it the Authentic Human Being Show, but I gotta make an allowance that we might actually have terrestrial beings on my program, or people descended from terrestrial beings. They might have the genetic makeup that will actually make them more otherworldly than this planet, or there might be some question of dual citizenship here. This morning, we're doing a very lengthy review of Charles J. Shields' biography of Kurt Vonnegut called "And So It Goes." And basically, what I'm doing is, rather than, let's see, how do I say this? I think I'm going to be channeling all the beat hippie writers that are dead and bringing them alive through my being, because I'm the last bohemian standing, basically, and I happen to be a writer, a historian, and a theologian. And how I became these things, begins with me becoming a writer and working on two novels at the same time, The Gideon Computer and Elephant. And both of these novels started to come true, and I had to get sober. I had to quit taking even the occasional drugs I used to take, and I had to go back to an incident in 1967 where I had a fall on some rocks while I was on a very powerful dose of LSD. I knew the manufacturers of this drug. I knew the Brotherhood of Eternal Love. This is Thomas Wolfe, electric Kool-Aid acid test. I'll be tying that in with The Last Great American Hero. So, when I was 13, I did a book report on Carl Chessman, The Red Light Bandit. And I forget the name of the book. I think it was Cell number 2549. And I read it in the summer, and I found it an extremely interesting book. Being 4 generations Oakland, San Francisco, there he was, committing these crimes that and he hired Bill Linhart, who I actually got to meet through a good friend, and he was going to we accompanied Bill down to KTVU to where he was going to be interviewed, and this human being was a real authentic eccentric. He had the Howard Hughes look, it's like we picked up this hitchhiker, and he's taking us to lunch before we go to the interview at the TV station, and he takes us to Wendy's and buys us some hamburgers, treats us to some hamburger. So there we are, with the big lunch powwow before the big interview, and this guy who was hired by Carl Chessman to be his private investigator, to get the right stuff to free him, from San Quentin. And so Bill, he pulls out this check and shows it to us, like a $5,000 check that, he said, we look at the date, it hasn't been issued a year ago, and he hasn't cashed it. And apparently he had other checks in there and around that of large sums that he didn't cash. So we go out to the TV station. He's in this dark blue suit, and it's just full of cat hairs, because he's got 10 cats, and they're always hairs, and so they're me and Michael picking off the cat hairs. He's right out of Vonnegut, God bless you, Mr. Rosewater, you know. So anyway, when I was 12, I went to McChesney High School, got a brown leather coat, fur, and I painted a chessboard on the back. And I was considered myself a surrealist at the time. I was a great fan of Salvador Dali, and it was surreal. I had like a chessboard coming this way at you with 3, 4 pieces, and then it had sort of the reverse of that, you know, with some chess pieces coming down. So it was like this mirror of duality, you know. The knights move, you know, and then I had some drumsticks. I was wanted to be a drummer. I was going taking some classes there. Patton's Drumming Boys. It had these white drumsticks, and I painted some flames on it, you know. And then I had the hair. See, I was a great Elvis Presley impersonator. This is I was about 10, and there I am, walking around school with a leather jacket with a surrealistic chess piece thing that I made. It was like a coat of arms, you know, and the white drumsticks with the flames on it, you know. So the summer's over, we go back to class, and man, I go to this English class, and there's this beautiful young teacher. I mean, really beautiful, tall, wonderful, beautiful to look at face, and you know, I'm smitten. You know, this is the first crush I've ever had on a teacher, and so she says, "Well, you know, I want you to write a book report on a book you read. Did you read a book this summer? You know, and I want you to write a report and stand up here and give this report." And oh boy, you know, I'm going to really impress her. I'm going to bowl her over with, you know, when I get up and talk about this cell number 5429, the red light bandit. You know, basically he would put a red light on his car and pull women over, and he wasn't too nice of a guy. So I get up. You know, I'm ready, you know, the hoodlum, you know, the hair, the pompadour, you know. And you know, I'm basically very shy, and this is going to help me get over my stage fright. And I really wanted to impress this teacher. So I announce what my book is and what it's about, and the whole class starts going, you know, I go, what? And the teacher's, you know, like, you know, what did I do, you know? Carl Chessman, he's a real guy. Lived, you know, did all this stuff, and he, you know, he's got these famous cases, you know, and stuff, and what, it's so funny, you know? And so I start, you know, it's embarrassing, I'm turning red, and I'm trying to get through this, you know, I did a good job, you know, with my writing, you know, and you know, I look at the teacher, she's just like, you know, like this, and I go, fuck, what the hell is this about, you know? So I you know, I finish, you know, and the whole class is like roaring with laughter, you know, and I go, God damn, what happened, you know? And she goes, I want you to report to the principal's office right now, Mr. Presco. I go, I'm against the wall, motherfucker. You know, last hippie standing, you know, this is how I began, you know, that my downfall, you know, 13 years old, you know, so I head up to the principal, you know, and apparently she's called him up or something, and I get there, and he's asking me, you know, who do I think I am, you know, coming in looking like a hoodlum, and, you know, showing off by talking about this convict, you know, this bad man. You are a bad boy. You know? You're a hoodlum, a punk. You know, you know, trying to show off for my school to my young people. You know, I'm the tough guy you are. Talking about Carl Chessman. You know, I go, fuck. Wow. So, you know, you got the right stuff, you know, as a bohemian and a beatnik, you know, when this shit happens to you, you know, wow. You know, because this is the stuff that biographies are made of. You know, these are the antidotes that they look for. You know. Of course, no one wants to write my biography because I'm dangerous and I'm still alive. So anyway, I talked about this Undertaker's cartel of biographers that Charles J. Shields, you know, is a part of, you know. They're ready to move in, you know, KY4 will handle Vonnegut, and, you know, C95 will handle Lucia Royce. You know, I did this whole thing, like, you know, pulling this stuff out of where? What, intuition? You know, well, you know, I got a stallion of the planets in Scorpio on my astrology said, you make a great detective. Because I nailed this. In 2009, with fellow biographers Nigel Hamilton, James, blah, 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 Pulitzer Prize winner Debbie Applegate, Shields co-founded Biographies International Organization. Wow. This is an organization of biographers, you know, that Charles J. Shields humiliated me in front of. Yeah, John's just one of them crazy hippie, took too much LSD and he thinks he's a writer and a biographer. You know. What do you say, guys? Well, you know, you wonder why people do this stuff to you. Well, he was a school teacher. See, that's where he started. He's taken glommed on. You know, he's one of these academics. See, you know, like my friend Mark Gold. Oh, I've studied. You know, I've got a degree. You know, I'm in who's who. I got to, you know, give me the bag of money and the sanity. You know, see, money, sanity. See, that's the goal here. You know, when you're in doubt, just follow the money trail. That's what my friend Michael learned from Bill Lindhart. You know, he was a great detective. You know, when in doubt, follow the money trail. So, when looking for a motive why Shields, you know, hit the button, whoosh, you know, away all torpedoes, Fresco, that's, you know, oh, he actually put me in touch with this. So, San Francisco hippie, you know, and to get a reaction from him, and he said, well, you know, he said, why don't you befriend Mr. Prescott here? He said, well, I got Tourette's syndrome. I think that was like saying, well, yeah, no, Mr. Prescott doesn't have the right stuff. I could tell. I was the original hippie in San Francisco, you know? And then he knows all this occult stuff, esoteric stuff, and, you know. So this is another, you know, incident where I'm up in front of the class here, my peers, except I don't have a book published, being attacked. See, you know, what the hell's the motive here? What's going on? You know, why did he delete all my posts? And you know, it's unfair. Well, someone's pointed out to him that he might have a lawsuit, and he better get rid of the evidence. You know, this might get my attorneys on his ass, you know. Yeah, and that's the money bag thing. As long as you walk away with the money bag, you know, and you get all these laurels and kudos from your gang of, you know, undertakers, you know, then you win. You get to do things like this to people. And when I started posting on my sister, how she married into the Benton family, and how she had her two very bad biographies written about my sister, and I was writing my own autobiography to tell the truth. I told Shields and his peers that my sister's autobiography was disappeared, 270 pages. Poof, vanished. I saw it. but they didn't use it. And the ghostwriter they hired said, oh, there were some few notes, but they were the ideations of a woman who was not well when she wrote them. Well, then you can't leave out the idea that he saw something, Mr. Shields or somebody did, because my blog is full of history. Now I've got 2,500 posts. I get 150 readers a day, reading at least two posts. And some of the history I'm doing, I got so many projects, so many irons in the fire. But the main one I'm keeping my eye on is my sister's biography and Jessie Benton's biography, John Fremont. And this is one of the things I really champion because they were abolitionists. Well, it turns out that Debbie Applegate wrote a biography of Beecher, who was the brother of Beecher Stowe. You know, what was the name of this? I just lost it. Anyway, she wrote about Beecher, who was an abolitionist that was very good friends of John Fremont and Jessie Benton, and he went around the country promoting his candidacy as first president of the Republican Party. And I make a pretty big deal about that in my blog, Rosamond Press. And Rosamond Press was founded as a newspaper in 1997 as a promoter and defender of the arts. And they've got this organization of writers that are promoting biographies. They kind of, you know, they're sort of like the caretakers. You know, it's amazing how I pick this stuff up. You know, it's like I'm Columbo. You know, Columbo was only fiction. I'm the Columbo. You know, well, you can't be everything. You can't be the last hippies. You know, Columbo. You know. So, but these guys are basically detectives. You know, and I wish I could read some of this stuff here. That's so funny. But anyway, Applegate, you know, she was born here in Eugene, and she went off to Amherst College, and you know, she had an assignment, you know, a book assignment. She did this thing on Beecher, you know, and she wins the Pulitzer Prize, you know. In fact, all these people that were on Charles's Facebook, they've got all kinds of prizes. You know, academic, literary, you know, accolades, you know, galore. They're like, you know, it's like, you know, God, who's handing these things out to them, you know? Well, they are, you know. You know, they get in the back room with the undertakers, and, you know, they're dealing out the cards, you know. The accolades. Who wants a Pulitzer Prize? Who hasn't had a Pulitzer Prize yet? Me, okay. So, you know, and also I'm right in the middle of them, you know, coming up with this idea, you know, that Lucia Joyce is Lucy in the sky with diamonds, LSD, you know, and, you know, he's mocking me, see, and oh yeah, he did this whole thing on To Kill a Mockingbird, you know, for children, see. He first did one thing on the, you know, the Mockingbird, Mockingbird, a portrait of Harper Lee, and then he did a thing on, oh shoot, what's the little girl's name, for children, for young adults, see that's his mask, you know, of the rest of our people, you know, they wear these authentic human being masks, you know, to you know, work the dead. You know, we care about our dead. You know, so he's, oh come on, what's her name? Anyway, so that could be one of the motives why he, you know, ejected all my stuff and wiped it out. is that I'm promoting the comeback of LSD on Broadway. Hey, come on, it's okay to take LSD again. Come on, children. You know, hey, you guys, you little kids in elementary, come on to Broadway. You know, bring some lollipops. You know, we're going to watch Lucy and Joyce flip out. And ended up in a psych ward for the rest of her life, you know. So that's what, I wondered, and I tried to get back in there and say, no, you understand, I'm one of the first people that spoke out against use of LSD in 1967, which got me in a lot of trouble with my peers, and pretty much excommunicated, and pretty much living a lonely life, living on a sailboat in the Oakland Estuary, where Jack London had his sailboat, by the way. So I was pretty much banished from the whole hippie thing because I started speaking out. I said LSD has gone as far as it's going to go. You cannot give this to children. This should not. It's not going to be a generational thing. It's going to do a lot of damage. And I'm saying this to the guys that are off to Europe with big bags of LSD. And they didn't like to hear that. See? That's tough. See, the authentic human being is really the guy or the gal who has the courage to tell people what they don't want to know. Stick their neck out. See? Take a risk. Take a chance and willing to pay the consequences. Well, what is this organization here? The Biographers International Organization. Oh, bio, I get it. B-I-O. Oh, yeah, B-I-M-G-O. See, as long as they move like a gaggle of geese, the flock, the head of the flock goes that way, and they all turn around, and he flies that way, and they go, See, see, then they can't get picked off by the shark of insanity, See, the universe is actually, a shark that's got to keep swimming forward, to get oxygen. It's got to keep feeding, But they don't want to get picked off. See, they don't want to go, oh, you guys go ahead. I'm going to linger back here and check this out some more. I saw something interesting. Oh, there comes the shark of reality, see. The reality doesn't care about bio, the organization, The real reality, is that they want to write upon people. They've created this mafia, bio, the undertakers, And as long as they move in accordance, See, I want to compare Richard Shield to the movie The Young Lions. For some reason I wanted to compare him to that movie Young Lions because this is what these people are. They're the young lions. They're literary Nazis, who give each other signals, as they head into Poland, It's a blitzkrieg, They with their steam-powered motorcycles, I can dance circles around their ideas and conceptions. See, because I born them. See, I'm the raw material, that these harpies descend upon and feed, lay their maggots, feeding their young, and they're all doing it, in the name of biographies, but no one wants to read them anymore. See, children, the children don't want to read our stale, dusty biographies, about our dead people. No, they want to get, they're too busy texting, see, live, hey, I just fed my goldfish. Wow, there it is. They're stars. 300 of their friends just found out that they fed their goldfish before they went to school. They don't want to get bothered with the BIO. And the bio doesn't want to fuck with me. Well, they have. See? Because I don't need no stinking badges. I don't need, laurels, who's who. I don't need any of this shit. I write every day, 12 hours a day, and I've been doing this for 16 years, more, 20 years. Help this computer, man, it's just, you know, it's a wonder. So, you know, there's this wonderful show called Connections. So here we have Shields and Applegate, Bio. That was the main thing. See, so it goes, Shields mentions that Kurt Vonnegut met with Jefferson Airplane. You know, they wanted to incorporate his novels into their thing in 1971. You know, okay, Lucia, you know, Joyce at the Fillmore dancing. You know, Kurt Vonnegut marching off to meet with the Jefferson Airplane in a three-piece suit that Charles points out. Of course he didn't get along with the, you know, flower power children, you know. He had a three-piece suit on. Well, shit, Kurt, he said, Kurt Vonnegut didn't like the vibes. They just rubbed each other the wrong way. He was out of there, you know. He didn't want anything to do with these weirdos, you know. And see, I know what was going on at that time. The Jefferson Airplane was really, you know, they were up there in Valhalla. You know, they had reached Godhead, you know, Greek gods and stuff, along with some other bands, because they were playing in football stadiums all over America. You know, huge speakers and stuff, and there wasn't anything going on, nothing going on, but you know, rock and roll. You know, here comes the Stones, you know, from England, and they're playing at the stadiums over here, and the tours, you know, and the Airplane, you know, they said, man, we're it, you know, we're the, we're in the vortex, we're at the nucleus, you know, we started this, you know, and now we want to take over the world, you know, we want to get Vonnegut in here, you know, to give us literary, you know, credibility, see. You know, because you need to write. He writes the history, rules the world. You know, so they want Kurt Vonnegut, you know, to come in there and, you know, try to metamorphose their drug thing. You know, well, I mean, basically, what was going on in the 60s and 70s was, for $5 you could buy a record album, okay, of your favorite band, you know, a vinyl, and on the record cover was some artwork. You know, wow, you know. You know, some pictures, you know, people and stuff, and, you know, a lot of artwork, you know. And then you turn it over, and there's a bio right there, you know. So for $5 you get all that, see. You know, then you go get some drugs, marijuana, LSD, and put the record on, you know, and you're having a good old time. You're having a, you know, in the now experience. See, this is why it kept going as long as it did. And so the Airplane, you know, I mean, they're multimillionaires, they got power, they're in all the newspaper articles, magazines want them, you know, and, you know, here comes, you know, Kurt Vonnegut, you know. You know, and it's like, you know, there's Vonnegut watching Charles, you know, come down the walkway, you know, to his house to do his biography. And go, what? Is this going to be another one of these Jefferson Airplane experiences for me, you know? Well, I'm sure he regretted his choice here, because he should have, maybe he did. You know, maybe he picked, you know, interviewed some people and said, hey, I'm going with you. You know, maybe he was recommended or something, but, you know, that's why when I read Charles's book, I'm going to really read between the lines, you know, what really went on, you know, between Charles and the authentic being. So, let's go back to 1965, and I'm living with Nancy